the place for all your favorite sports. River Creek Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at TAP 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the Center Bar. Plus, catch this fall's biggest games. Every goal, every tackle, every home run. River Creek is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreekresort.com.
River Creek Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
You haven't set your lineup yet, right? It's Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
.01, good morning. Thank you for tuning in to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Penwick, Mackenzie the intern with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall. Hope you guys are having a great start to your Thursday. Crazy windy out there. Garbage everywhere, depending on what part of the city you are in. But should be a good day. Lots to get to on the program today, of course. The Oilers in action, taking on the New York Islanders tonight. We've got NFL football. The coaching carousel, it's starting to heat up. The New York Giants signing former Baltimore Ravens head coach John, don't call me Jim Harbaugh, last night. And that, to me, very good move. I think some stability. Probably the best head coach hire they've made since Tom Coughlin, who led them to Super Bowls. They got some nice pieces there, so we can talk about that and more. The playoffs this weekend. Baseball. Could the Jays be bringing in another player with star potential? Lots to get to. The text line is 1-833-401-1440, and the show is brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. Duke, good morning. How are you doing today?
Morning, Cons. I'm doing well.
Just well?
Just well.
It's Thursday, right?
Nothing. Yeah. Well, I know Kevin thinks every day's Thursday because he just can't wait to get to Friday when he's back to not coming to work. But I have to say I'm excited for the end of this week and what it entails.
How come? What's got you fired up?
Well, the weekend has playoff football. I'm pumped.
True. Do you plan on leaving the sofa all weekend? Or are you just going to hunker down? Or what?
I'm gonna come in for the Triple S on Saturday. Then I think I'm probably going to head down to the casino here in the mall for a Saturday breakfast.
Yeah.
Full plated farmhouse breakfast. Can't beat it. And
it is a busy plate when you get that breakfast.
And then after that, yeah, probably not. The Tropics are in action on a Friday night, not a Sunday night this week, which fits well into what I'm hoping my schedule will play out as. I'm excited.
Go Trops.
Go Trops.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really good weekend of football. Obviously, your Houston Texans in action, so that's probably got you pretty fired up. I like this layout. You got 4 games. You got 2 each day. Getting going on Saturday at 2:30 from Mile High. Broncos and Bills. 6 o'clock, you got Seahawks and Niners. Both those games, I think, should be competitive. Broncos right now lying 1.5-point favorites. Seahawks are 7-point favorites, but I feel like the 49ers will be frisky. They'll keep that competitive. And then on Sunday at 1, you've got the Houston Texans in New England taking on the Patriots, more specifically in Foxborough. -3. Patriots leading the way right now as when it comes to the odds. And then at 4:30, you got the Bears and the Rams. Now, the one downside to this, there's no Sunday night football, which is a bit of a disappointment, but that's okay. We'll be all tuckered out from some really good football leading up to that beforehand. The Edmonton Oilers, as we mentioned, are in action tonight, getting set to take on the Philadelphia Flyers. With that, of course, that means we've got pregame coverage coming up at 6 o'clock with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro for the Edmonton Oilers. Not trying to win 3 straight, but pick up points in 3 straight. Well, I guess they've actually picked up points in a lot of their last few games, 5 in a row, because they did lose in a shootout, then lost in overtime. So points in 5 straight for the Edmonton Oilers. That always a good sign. Duke, outside of maybe the big one, who are you looking forward to watching here for the New York Islanders?
I think, and I actually haven't even checked from the Islanders morning skate if they've commenced yet, but the goaltending.
Yeah.
Really, regardless of what goaltenders in net, they've been very strong this season. I'm a big fan of Ilya Sorokin, the way he plays the game. He's big, he's athletic, moves around his crease really well, and he's having himself a great season. So, yeah, I mean, Matthew Schaefer, I think, tops most people's list. A good chance for a lot of Edmontonians to see him in person for the first time. And he's had himself an unreal rookie season. Runaway favorite for the Calder at this stage. Demidov, Seneca, among others, having solid ones. Wallstat, Askarov, take your pick, but yet no one's quite in the realm of Matthew Schaefer for my betting money at this point.
I would be right along with you. 30 points in 46 games, logging just under 24 minutes on ice. So you'll notice him out there, the smooth skating blue liner. For me also, Bo Horvat, a guy who's going to be representing Canada at the Olympics. 21 goals this year in just 36 games, having a pretty good season down there with the Islanders. I think there were some people maybe were surprised with that selection, right? Like, well, is he... And he's out, actually, so he's not even going to be playing tonight, so you can't even look forward to that one. Do we know when he's returning, Duke? Have you heard anything about that? Before the Olympics,
I remember the original timeline, was I think, set at a couple weeks, and he was hurt about a week ago, so I don't even know if he's on the trip with the team. I'll admittedly didn't have my headphones on when we had Stefan Rosner on with Carius first thing this morning, so I didn't quite catch if they discussed that or not, but it's a fair point, even if he's not playing tonight, about the intrigue for him, right? As a guy that out west here, similar to the Schaefer thing, we don't see them a lot, right? Not watching a lot of Islanders games on off nights for even the Oilers. So certainly deserved of being there. I don't think you can question that. But his 2A game, the face-offs, one of the very best in the league, will play a big role for Canada so long as his health is good enough to head to Italy. Yeah,
I mean, I will say, like, kind of missed out on the... Well, not point production, but the goals he's scoring this year.
He's having a great year.
Having a good year.
The Islanders are right up there for one of my number one surprise teams this season. And the Eastern Conference is so crowded. Even the Rangers, who are now in last place, technically only like 8 points out. They're 2 games below 500. I get all that. But where the Islanders find themselves, the Flyers, similar type boat, they've been a really pleasant surprise. I thought they were going to be kind of where the Rangers were at, to be honest with you, at the bottom of the conference. And Matthew Schaefer, the rookie, Bo Horvat, among others, Barzell, Duclair, take your pick, the goaltenders, a well-rounded blue line, all playing a factor. And I think for some fans for tonight's game that maybe still have a little bit of a different impression of what the Islanders have been as recently as the past few seasons, might be in for a little bit of a surprise when they watch this team take the ice tonight.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, right now, second in the Metro, right in between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals. You touched on the Rangers there. There can't be a bigger disappointment in the NHL right now, can there? Maybe the Winnipeg Jets, I guess, but
the Jets are won 3 in a row.
Yeah, then, hey, they're turning it around. They still have life.
The Jets, despite their horrendous season, in as recently as this week, accomplishing something the Oilers haven't been able to do all season. Winning 3 in a row.
And it's not the first time they've done it either.
No, oh God, no.
Which is kind of funny. But yeah, for the New York Islanders, should be a good game tonight down at Rogers Place if you're making the trip down. Puck drop, just after 7 o'clock. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. The text line is 1-833-441-1440. Also, shout out to those watching on YouTube. Sees Triple Crown watching. Frank, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button. MTR says, keep it competitive. Talking about the Niners and the Seahawks. They're going to win. They could.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not ruling it out. I think it's going to be tough. We'll see what playoff Sam Darnold has to say. Brendan says, it's so windy. I just saw a red-green light hanging like 10 feet down off the pole. Were you hearing it last night in the condo, Duke?
Oh, yeah. Heard it howling this morning. Heard it howling, and then I step outside and nearly knocks even a low center of gravity man like myself, cast me a little off balance. The biggest issue was getting into the mall. The wind was blowing so much down this kind of like little tunnel that leads to the entrance here right below the movie theater. I could barely get the door open, and then like slide my way through it and kind of like slam shut again on my arm.
Really?
I was scared, Cons. I gotta be honest with you. It stung me for a few moments, but no worse for wear. Here we are 4+ hours later.
You're calling for Kevin. Kevin,
help me. I'm trapped. I'm pinched.
Here. What did you think of the deal with Harbaugh for the New York Giants? I don't know if it's officially official, but
no,
it's going to happen, it looks like.
It seemed like as soon as he became available, this was the Giants' primary focus. Like they were not going to be denied, I guess you could say. Almost a similar type feeling last summer with their summer off season with the Bears and Ben Johnson. Like it was like, it makes sense, right? Everything lines up, and it like they were so dead set on it. Anything else would look like a disappointment. I really thought Stefanski would be a good fit with the Giants. That's kind of where I envisioned things going on Black Monday when the first wave of firings came down. But Harbaugh jumped to the top of essentially everybody's list as the most coveted guy on the market in this year's cycle. It's got history with reining in and getting the best out of a really uniquely talented quarterback in Lamar Jackson. I don't think Jackson Dart is Lamar Jackson. Do not get me wrong, but I think his experience, his leadership can go a long way for this Giants team that has a lot of talented pieces in place across the roster on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about having like the triplets at running back, receiver, and quarterback. Looks good. Scatterwell, we'll have to see what happens with the injury because the recovery will be tough. And Malik Neighbors, same sort of thing, but Jackson Dart seems like a gamer. Oh, I think we did hear that even Dayball like reached out to Harbaugh and was just like, he's a heck of a player. You're going to love this guy.
Stand-up move by Brian Daboll.
Absolutely. Yeah, we know he loved Jackson Dart and obviously wishes he could have been there for a little bit longer, not the way. But when you look at this Giants team, and I said it, like since Tom Coughlin, I don't think they've had a really good head coach, with all due respect to these guys.
I think Daboll was the best coach they had since, and even his record was terrible. No real, like they went to the playoffs that one year with Danny Dimes and won a playoff game, actually worth noting. But yeah, I mean, do you have the full list in front of you there?
Since Coughlin, well, it's Ben McAdoo.
Ugly.
464 winning percentage. You had Spagnuolo, who was just interim.
Right.
He went 1-3. Pat Shurmur in 2 years won 9 games, a 281 win percentage. Joe Judge,
bad.
I didn't like that higher. He went 303, or 303 winning percentage, 1023. Brian Daboll, like you said, had the playoff win, was coach of the year in 2022, but 20-40-1. And then as interim, Mike Kafka went 2-5. So it hasn't been great. You go back, you look at the New York Giants, like only 2 coaches in the last 30 odd years have had above 500 winning percentage. And Tom Coughlin, he won 2 Super Bowls, but 531. Jim Fassel was there for a long time, 522. Bill Parcells, we know what he did with the Giants. He was absolutely fantastic. But I think this is just a really good move. And, players are going to want to go play for the New York Giants. Living in New York's cool, playing for a big franchise. And then to have a coach like John Harbaugh, who in his coaching career has only had 3 seasons with a lower than 500 record, going back to 2008. So, yeah, I think it's a big move, and we'll see what happens.
First name off the board, right?
You had it for in or out, and I'm not out entirely. I think that they could win a playoff game, or get to the playoffs.
Get to the playoffs, yeah. And it's football, right? So one injury at the wrong position, wrong player can completely derail a season, and we kind of saw that with the Giants, like Neighbors going out right at the start of the year. The start Scadaboo had, even as erratic as it was, exciting and clearly was taking the lead in that backfield. The biggest disappointment this past year for me and the Giants was like the defense, because that defensive front seemed like it should have been so much better than it was when you add Abdul Carter from the top of the draft, and the results were not there from like a sack perspective, from output perspective. Disappointing. So now all of a sudden it's almost focused like, all right, Harbaugh, his history as a special teams guy, he's more of like the leader of men type head coach. This is going to be a big way for him to find the right coordinators and play callers to guide each specific unit.
I will say for Abdul Carter, if you are looking for a bright spot, He did have 3.5 sacks in the last 5 games. So he did pick it up. But
And correct me if I'm wrong, there were some issues with Carter during the year about missing meetings, being late to meetings, kind of on like a personal side of things that led to many suspensions, missing games as punishment. You have to think that stuff like that will not fly very far under a tenured guy like John Harbaugh.
I would totally agree. And I think there was some maturing to do. And I think it did happen. And yeah, they've got some nice pieces there. So we'll see how they turn it around, but a very good move. And I think if you're a Giants fan, if you're Jason Strudwick out there, you're probably pretty excited. A couple texts rolling in here before we get to break. Jay Victoria says, I'm a Seahawks fan, but the Denver game is most interesting for me. Also, MTR, I have a Hawks jersey for you. Jay from Victoria. Yeah, I don't think MTR is going to want that jersey, Jay. The Denver Bronco game for me is super interesting. I totally agree with you. Like, that's a team that I said week 18 I wasn't very impressed by. I'm really intrigued to see what Bo Nix can do in the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills defense is probably going to give him some opportunities to make some plays. Will they connect on those? If he can hit the deep ball, like that just makes that offense even more dangerous, obviously. So I am very intrigued to see what happens here with MTR. The Broncos. We'll get to MTR's text in a second here. Chris says, Duke, are Texans going to win? My Patriots friend wants to bet on the game. I think they can do it if the offense shows up. Well, Camrose, Chris, you're not asking me. You're asking Duke, but I think they certainly can win, and I would take that bet. Duke, how about you?
I'm very confident in the Texans. They're on the road, but they're dogs, understandably so. It's going to come down to the offense just being good enough in my eyes. The Patriots defense is solid. It's not going to be easy on them, but I think the defense should make life tough enough on Drake May and the rest of the offensive group that I expect another bit of a slugfest of a game, not indifferent from what we saw against the Steelers last week. Patriots are way better than the Steelers. Do not get me wrong. But Drake May, going to be his second playoff game, didn't light the world on fire against the Chargers, right? And that was against a solid defensive group too. So I wouldn't be shocked if it's another bit of a slugfest, ugly one, not the most entertaining contest start to finish.
$300 million defensive ends.
Yeah, what was with that? That's Will Campbell saying.
Because I think he was criticized for his performance, and he was just saying like, well, that's also $300 million defensive ends, which is not the case.
Is one of those Khalil Mack?
Yeah. Khalil Mack, I think, got him on a couple bull rushes, but that's not a $300 million. If that's a $300 million defensive end group, Duke, the Houston Texans are billions. Like, if you had a tough time with an aging Khalil Mack and Tuli Tuipulotu, watch out for Will Campbell. Oh man, Will Anderson. It's gonna be real. But Cameron's Chris, yeah, I don't mind that bet. I don't mind that either way. MTR says every game this weekend could go either way. It should be an awesome slate. Totally agree. I mean, we got good competitive games here, and I like going back to the last few years in the playoffs. I will say it, and I hate to admit it, but I took the Chiefs. Like they're going to run through this one. I'm not taking the field. I'm taking the Chiefs. In the AFC this year, totally wide open. Any team could get there. And I think it's the same in the NFC, which makes it awesome. We'll take another break here. When we come back, more text 1-833-401-1440. It's Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. You can also watch us on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky.
New Year's resolutions. We all make them. We all say we're going to start eating healthier or going to the gym or starting that new hobby. But at GS Construction, we actually follow through on our New Year's resolution because it's the same every year. We promise to set the groundwork, literally, for another year of progress and growth. And we've stuck by that resolution since 1974. So start that all-you-can-eat diet. GS Construction is going to start planning right now for the year ahead. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
When picking a New Year's resolution, try to avoid things you have no influence over.
Like bringing home the cup? That would be awesome!
But completely outside your control. Instead, pick something you can control. Like bringing home some Wilhock beef jerky.
That would also be awesome. But What if we brought the cup home to Canada and it was filled with Wilhauk beef jerky?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win cups with salad.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for everything in 2025. With your help and your support, we fed almost 500 families. We donated to various charities in the Edmonton area, and we're going to do it again in 2026. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
This is Andrew Walker, host of the postgame show on Sports 1440. After every hockey game this season, tune in and chime in as we talk about the game. It's all sponsored by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Don't get left in the cold. Visit legacyheating.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense. Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant, nestled in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor Summit's exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails, all served in a stylish, modern atmosphere. For a casual meal or a special night on the town, Summit Restaurant offers a straightforward yet refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Visit Summit Restaurant tonight.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Say, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca. And let's get to work for you.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperature's dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Even though we both know we're liars and we start each other.
Who should start? Who needs to hit the bench? Find out with Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Welcome back. It's Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor, Halley, Brandon, Douglas with you here. Text line 1-833-401-1440. Big thank you to our sponsor, Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Only available in Leduc. Go pay them a visit. Tell them we sent you. And also, shout out to everyone tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. If you're able to, hit that like button. Cameras, Chris texts in, says, got it. So bet the life savings. Thanks, boys. Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but, be responsible. That's what we always tell you. Hey, Duke.
Hey, Connor.
Did you hear Sports 1440 is proud to sponsor the world's first Alberta Long Feisty Pickles 24-hour pickleball challenge?
Yeah, I actually did hear that. It's pretty exciting. Great event, awesome facility. And I'll be honest, what I'm most excited about it is the Dill Lounge. Play on words there. pickleball, Feisty Pickles. I don't know if you get it or not, but
Well, from the 23rd of January at 8 p.m. till the 24th at 8 p.m., of course, 24 hours, at the Edmonton Sports Center, 32 teams will dink from dusk to dusk. It's free to watch, play games, and get food and beverages from what you mentioned, the Big Dill Lounge. All proceeds going to Breathing Space, a home away from home for patients traveling to Edmonton for lung transplants. You can go to sports1440.com and donate to our team, Picklers in the Dark, and check out all the information. I didn't know that it was called dinking.
You dink and you dunk in pickleball. Never played it, but I'm up with the lingo.
You get
There's
it.
a kitchen.
I
That's all I
am.
know.
I am intrigued about the Big Dill Lounge.
You've never played?
No, I have not.
My sister got into it. I don't know if she still plays regularly or not, but I know she kind of got in on that initial wave craze when everybody seemed to be after it.
I feel
Carrie
like once you
says there's
start,
some really good courts near his place over at Laurier Heights.
Oh,
that
wow.
they're outdoor ones, so obviously active in the summertime, to the best of my knowledge. But yeah, he too has not yet ventured, even though it seems right in Kevin's wheelhouse.
everything about his life is great. Everything
He's the
he
most
makes
interesting
food
man.
wise is the best. He's got the best pickleball courts by his house. He's living the dream. Dude, I quickly touched on Kyle Tucker potentially finding a new home. Per John Heyman of the New York Post, he could find a team today. Jays, Mets, Dodgers would be an option.
Yeah, I saw a tweet. I don't have it in front of me, so I apologize for not giving credit. But it was a joke, basically saying, Kyle Tucker making his decision. The Jays are like, we'll give you a lot of money over a long time. The Mets say, we'll give you a lot of money over a shorter time, or more money over a shorter time. And the Dodgers just say nothing. And Kyle Tucker, after a lot of consideration, I've decided to go with the Dodgers. Because that's just seemingly how the world of baseball works these days. Everybody wants to play in LA for a chance at chasing down a World Series title and ring. But yeah, the fact that Jays are in on this, it's very exciting. I know we've been burned before as fans of the team, quote unquote, in the mix for Shohei Ohtani and in the mix for Juan Soto. Neither of those ever coming close really to fruition, according to what some of the insiders and experts say. But this is a real possibility, and the Jays have had a great offseason so far. This would be a real little cherry on top of it all here with pitchers and catchers set to report in less than a month.
Yeah, it feels like just yesterday we were watching Game 7. Now,
don't. Actually, well, that does take me back to Mexico. Good times.
Good time. Yeah, GTs. Heyman adding that former teammates think he would prefer Toronto over a big market like New York or LA. Also enjoys the training facility in Dunedin, close to his hometown.
Question.
Yes.
What about Toronto doesn't make it a big market? It's a huge city. It's an entire country essentially roots for one team. And I'm not saying it's LA or New York City. Do not get me wrong here. But Toronto, in every sense of the word, is a big market team. Even if just because they're a Canadian team, the only Canadian team in an American league.
I think that they're not New York or Los Angeles would be the only one.
But is Chicago not a big market?
Chicago's a big market, but they're not one of the 3 finalists, allegedly.
Well, yeah, he already left them in their dust.
Now, here's the thing. If you go by population in North America, do you know what the biggest city is?
The biggest city in North America?
Yeah.
Is New York City.
Mexico City.
Dang it, I was going to say that too.
Now, granted, I don't know.
I'm sorry, Connor. Is there an MLB team in Mexico City?
Well, I said...
Not yet.
I said North America, because this is the Wikipedia article I went to. Okay. But number 2, you're right, New York City. And then number 3, significant drop-off, 5 million people, goes down to LA. And then the next biggest city, Toronto.
But, and I know it's complicated, because whether or not you count greater metro areas or just the actual population of the city limit itself, it's all a little convoluted because Chicago as a city, I know is still large, but it's not quite in that area. But then Chicagoland is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Population, area, everything considered. And then you can say the same thing for Toronto.
5th.
And it's the GTA. So whatever, take your pick. In my eyes, in the case of the MLB, Toronto is absolutely a big market team. And the difference is that they spend money. Like you and I have had this discussion on this show about teams like Anaheim and your Chargers. They play in LA, Anaheim just outside. but I still don't consider them big market teams because traditionally they don't spend the way that, say, their counterparts in the same market maybe
Kings
do.
and the Rams.
Or don't have the same following that teams like the Rams and the Kings do.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto, I absolutely have a big following. They spend money. The population's there. The infrastructure, like city-wise, is there. Absolutely, the Jays are a big market team.
Now, granted, if you were to be a member of the Blue Jays, you fly into Toronto, you take the train in, you could live in like a beautiful high-rise right beside the ballpark.
It'd be expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. But, if you're making major league money, maybe you get a roommate.
Well, not if you're making Ernie Clement, Davis Schneider, Joey Loperfido money. They're all roommates.
Well, they're sleeping on couches. They're finding a way to get by. I just stay in the hotel. But I'm just saying, like, you could have like small town vibes because you could literally take the elevator down, walk across the street,
head to work,
and you're at the ballpark.
Yeah,
right?
Very cool. Would be very cool.
Can you do the same in New York and LA? Less likely LA because I think it's a little bit of away from the houses. But New York probably could do the same. I don't know about much about the
Do many
area.
athletes actually live in New York City, though? Maybe younger guys do, but I feel like every time you hear people talk about it, they live like in New Jersey.
It's a commute,
and they drive across the bridge every day.
I mean, probably go city to city, right? Don't a lot like in Vegas. Don't a lot of players live in probably not Henderson, but
one of the suburbs,
the areas. Yeah,
and in the case of
Detroit,
the
same
NFL,
thing.
I mean, the teams actually play out of Jersey, so it would make sense
Yeah.
to live across the river.
In terms of just like when you say like big market, big everything, as Cat Dad says, like Toronto has a whole country behind them. Not everyone. Mariners fans will tell you, don't loop us into that.
Twins fans, Tiger fans, plenty of Yankee and Red Sox fans up here.
100%, but it's pretty
Specs
good.
a Cubs fan.
Yeah. Scuffed Aaron says, don't forget the Jays are automatically playing 30% more for the dollar exchange difference. I think of the advantage as a player. If you're getting paid in American.
Plus, you get those sweet Smuckers ad deals.
Oh, yeah.
And TD.
You want to be the face of TD? A whole Canadian company? I bet Canadian Tire would probably bring someone on.
Sure.
Skip the dishes. It's
All
out
good.
there.
All good options.
Nick says, I think the biggest difference in sponsorship dollars. Wonder how much Bichette makes compared to Tucker the last 5 years. It's big.
Well, Bichette wasn't a big sponsorship guy, right? Because he's a little more reserved. Say like Vladdy or George Springer in the two most specific examples we just listed. I think they did pretty well off the field. Plus, correct me, is Vladdy not a Jordan athlete?
I think so, yeah.
Right? So I'm sure they're doing fine.
Yeah, I'm just looking for like endorsements Bo has, and I think it's mostly just like gear.
Yeah.
The Nike guy now, but hey, the Jays are players. Like we talk about just market and money, they're also right there for a World Series with like
a game, an inning, a run,
a team getting better as well. Deontay says, curious how much merch revenue Toronto generated last year compared to the rest of the league. Well, I ordered a little jersey for Benny and a hat.
Was it a Bichette jersey?
No, it was Vladdy. Had to be safe.
Smart.
Yeah, we didn't know what the future of Bo was. But if it was a Bo jersey, maybe we could have dressed him up like Bo for Halloween. Pierce his ears.
Get a sweet little wig for him, a little flow going.
Draw on a little sick beard.
Razor thin beard. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah. Well, the Jays have a team barber, don't they?
Yeah. Probably in the facility.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it takes care of it. What does George Springer get when he goes to the barber?
Well, he should be shaving his head all the way down to the wood at this point.
That's a good looking man.
It is.
Just shave the head.
Yeah, or maybe you're George Springer. You're obviously rich.
Yeah.
Get some plugs.
Could do that too.
Off season. That might be a little late at this point. I don't know what the recovery is on that type of operation, but you should have got him like day after the World Series ended, be ready to go for spring training.
Who's the Celtics player? Jaylen Brown hair.
But who was the guy that it gave shades of because they did something similar where they were like painting on the hairline and they rubbed up on. There was another basketball player that did the exact same thing. I can't remember who that was.
I'm not sure. But Jaylen Brown's his hair was rubbing onto opposing players.
Tough look, and your opposition's wearing the white jerseys.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of joked about it too, right? So,
how could you not? What is your alternative?
You got to have
Deny
some
it?
fun with it. Wasn't me. What are
No,
you
that's
talking
just
about?
how I sweat.
Yeah. It's different. MTR says that Fred Warner officially game time decision. Also, that Seahawks fan who I've never heard of in my life. I would never wear a Seahawks jersey. In all honesty, I have tons of respect for the Seahawks and their coaching staff. I just don't believe in Sammy Donuts. Do people call him that?
That might be a new nickname.
Sammy Donuts. I mean, to be honest, I said in that game against the Rams, if he marches down the field, I'll stop the slander. But I still want to see it in the playoffs. Like he has his naysayers. So this is a huge opportunity for Sam Darnold to potentially, I think, win over a lot of people.
Oh yeah, quiet a lot of critics
100%
in this playoff game, without a doubt.
Uh-huh.
Or further fuel the ones that exist.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. Like if he doesn't perform, the noise only gets louder. Ask Justin Herbert, who's now 0-3 in the playoffs. It's only going to be more of a conversation point if you don't win the game. Nick says, guys, I went through, I got some radio interference when you're talking about my text. We're talking, that was about the sponsorship dollars, how much Bichette makes compared to Tucker. I mean, we don't really know off the top of our heads.
A lot of that stuff isn't really publicly available, like, say, salaries.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's a little more behind the curtain.
But, like, you come to Canada, if you're Kyle Tucker, I think companies, you got a little personality, companies probably lining up to bring you in as a spokesperson. Matt and Leduc says, didn't LeBron have painted hair on once? And then Nikki Northside, Carlos Boozer had something like that.
That's what I'm thinking of is Boozer.
It just seems like such a bad idea. Like you're sweating.
Well, like
you're rubbing up against guys.
But I get it. You're like basketball, the sport of the big four, where as close as you are to the fans, you're not wearing a helmet, you're not wearing a hat, nothing. It's all out there for people to see. It can be tough. Hey, even NBA players have self-conscious things as well. And clearly Jaylen Brown a little self-conscious about his hair.
Yeah.
And just doing everything he can to cover it up.
LeBron is the originator of the hairline before the game and nothing after the game from Triple C in a truck. Hey, you want to look good out there. I get it. But I just think like that's just a bold one, especially in basketball. In football, you could hypothetically just keep the helmet on. Same with hockey.
Yep.
Baseball, you're switching between your batter's helmet to your fielding cap. You go down into the tunnel maybe and just do a quick switch. No
one has to see. Like, remember Al Iafredi? His helmet came off one time, and he's like the play's still right beside him, but this is at a different time in the NHL when it was like guys would still play without helmets. He's scrambling to get his helmet back on so no one can see the full effects of the skullet that he was rocking.
I always liked Matt Hasselbeck. He'd wear that hat. He'd look like he was like 22.
Yeah.
Hat pops off.
Oh, whoa.
Grown man right there. I enjoy his work as an analyst as well right now. Anywho, let's take a break. When we come back, more text, 1-833-401-1440. And we'll let you know what's coming up on the Lowdown Flowdive and the Jason Greger Show. It is Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great. But you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium one-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular menu price. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's with a $6 one-top medium when you order any large specialty at regular menu price. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Saturday nights were made for Oil Kings Hockey and Ice District. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
This Saturday, your Edmonton Oil Kings face the Tri-City Americans at Rogers Place for the first time in 2 seasons.
The Oil Kings will be wearing a specialty fan-designed jersey that'll be auctioned and raffled off with proceeds going to charity.
Plus, score Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less.
The Edmonton Oil Kings get a rare visit from the Tri-City Americans, Saturday at 7.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Oh, new year, new me, right?
How about a resolution you'll actually enjoy?
5th January, resolve to get a better ride at Miss Q4. It's the New Year, New Ride event. Leave last year's vehicle in the rear view mirror and start 2026 in a brand new Ford. Get rebates as high as $10,000 or choose interest rates as low as 0%. Now that's a resolution you can stick to. Visit Nisku Ford today or browse our new inventory at niskuford.ca. Above expectations.
Get the inside scoop for your team on Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:42. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, got Josh Fenwick, Mackenzie the intern with you here. Show brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Go check them out in Leduc. This segment for elksnation.ca, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth WE football coverage you'll find out there. Check it out, elksnation.ca. Watch it on YouTube or listen anywhere you get your podcast, plus articles and more. Coming up next year on Sports 1440 will be Declan Kruger and Alan Mitchell in the Lowdown with Lowtide. Bagged Milk will be there from Oilers Nation, and they'll also be joined by Andrew Gross, covers the New York Islanders for Newsday. That'll be from noon till 2. Then from 2 to 6, it is the Jason Greger Show. Landon Ferraro will join us today, our pre- and post-game analyst here on Sports 1440, former NHLer and Olympian. We've got David Owens from Sherbrooke Liquor. Actually, I think it's going to be Steve today coming by. But they'll be sampling some beverages, some unique brews today on the show. Terry Ryan will join us from his new home in Newfoundland. We'll hear from Colin Livingston, Speck, members of the Oilers. We'll head out, talk some Islanders as well, and some NFL. So I'll keep it locked here on Sports 1440. Then from 6 till 7, pre-game coverage. Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro. Busy night in the NHL. Some other games. You got the Jackets and the Canucks. Washington hosting San Jose. Philly and Pitt. Buffalo, Montreal. The Sabres looking to roll. Continue rolling here. Chicago hosting the Flames. Busy night in the NHL. Couple more texts rolling in here. Bad Cap says, hey, if you're bald, own it. There's a Reddit group about that. Like guys deciding to shave their head and just fully admit it. And I'd say for the most part, looking pretty good. Duke, you've shaved your head for a long time. You're kind of got the little bit of Jason Statham fuzz going.
Yeah, I don't take it right to the wood. I haven't quite got to that stage. I very well may, but yeah, just lowest guard. lowest guard on the Clippers. Quick little zip. Takes me a few minutes. Do it every like week, maybe 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine.
You'd rather make that. It's a big decision for guys. You'd rather make that decision early than later, I think.
Declan, are you listening to the show right now? If you are, it's time.
You're telling him it's time?
He keeps saying he's debating on whether or not he's going to get plugs or just shave his head. And I think the reality is, like, Declan, you're not going to get plugs. Just shave your head.
I wonder what the cost is for plugs.
Well, if you go to Turkey, it's quite cheap.
But
but I say cheap, like it's still a few $1,000s. And you have to, fly to Turkey, which is not a short flight. Cool place though. Istanbul. One of the most historic cities in the world.
I've seen the videos pop up, and it's like they pick you up in a limo, take you to a nice hotel. So,
yeah, it's first class all the way if you do it properly, I suppose.
The experience seems quite cool. Jay in Victoria texted and said, "MTR, I don't think anyone believes in Sammy Donuts." And then in brackets, haha,
Sammy D.
Well, that's it though. Like, you can make or break your legacy. I think Eli Manning probably had some questions about him, and then he went on a couple unbelievable playoff runs. Joe Flacco, you had to pay him after what he did when they won their Super Bowl. So, yeah, this is a chance for him. Get rid of the history. People will forget about the ghosts, perhaps, that he saw once upon a time, or the struggles for the Vikings against good teams. If they can find a way to get the job done. And honestly, I think for the Seahawks, the key is probably not to have him lead you to victory. Like, you're at home, but play a road game. Run the ball with Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, get the play action pass going. Use that to set up Jackson Smith-Njigba and let your defense do their job. I think that's probably a good thing. Keep the Niners offense off the field, and maybe you walk away with victory. Pretty easy game plan when you look at it that way. EG says Austin Matthews needs to go to Turkey, or he's going to look like George Costanza soon. Costanza pulled it off, though. Different time.
Yeah, but Costanza, remember when he got the wig?
Yeah.
The piece looked great. But unfortunately, he became a little too big for his britches, and Elaine threw it out the window.
Ripped it off. That's a bold move, too, to throw on the wig.
Because, like
if you got a wig, everybody knows it.
That's what I mean. People know you're bald. And then all of a sudden, just one day you show up with hair. It's like, dude, that guy's wearing a wig. And if you want to wear a wig, go nuts. But don't think that people don't know that you're wearing a wig.
Exactly.
And the same could be said if you were to get plugs or something, right? But that's a little more obvious because you do have recovery time. And if you do take off a hat, I don't think you're supposed to wear a hat for the first X amount of time after you get the surgery, because you need to let the little seedlings breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Seedlings. Well, hey, look at Brian Urlacher.
Talking about a nice new set of hair.
He just showed up with hair one day. I don't know if he got plugs or I could see shaving it in your playing days.
No, I'm pretty sure he got plugs.
Did he?
Yeah.
How about John Cena? He admitted to getting plugs.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but don't try and deny it, which I don't even know how you can, because people already know you're bald.
Yeah. I think the situation got them too.
Mike, the situation? Second time he's come up in conversation in the studio today.
Oh, really? What a story he had. What a turnaround. What was the first time?
What were we talking about Jersey Shore? We were accusing Josh of looking like someone from Jersey Shore, just paler. And then we got
Ronnie or what?
No, just Kevin said, he's like, you look like someone that would be on Jersey Shore, just pasty. And then we talked about Mike's situation, going to jail for tax evasion.
Yeah. Is that an insult? You look like someone on Jersey Shore?
I'm sure Kevin thought it was.
I don't know. Like, they're all pretty buff in their day.
It started by us saying, Josh responding to something I said, saying, do you think I watched Jersey Shore? And I said, if you were 10 years older, you absolutely would have watched Jersey Shore. You were exactly in their target demographic.
I watched it. Sometimes I still watch Family Vacation.
Dude, I can say I've never seen a full episode of Jersey Shore. No.
At the time, I was dating someone who was like, "You got to come watch this show. It's crazy." And I was like,
I would get
"All
into
right."
arguments with people in high school because a bunch of my friends, girls I went to school with, they lived for it.
Yeah.
It was their whole life was waiting for the next week of Jersey Shore.
Jersey.
And I just couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't get it. When I would get in from chores at night, like finish milking and get into the house, I'd have on Thursday nights, I'd be watching the tail end of whatever the new episode of Grey's Anatomy was, because that's what my mom would watch every evening, and then I would get to watch 2.5 Men. Great
Nice.
show.
Well, with
Charlie Sheen.
With Charlie Sheen, yeah. Kutcher, I don't know.
Kutcher one's not so great. They had its moments, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, had its moments. MTR said it's like dudes who have gray hair then randomly show up with jet black hair. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what happened.
Just to eradicate those grays and jet black. That's going too far. Everyone's going to know.
You got to just ferment it, salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Old enough to know what you're doing, still young enough to know how to do it. That's the look.
That's it. I'm getting some grays on the side. My beard has the grays coming in too. Whatever. Is what it is. Yeg Moose says, dude at work went to Turkey to get plugs. 2 years later, less hair than pre-surgery.
That seems like that didn't go very well then.
And then KG said, I had a friend who was bald for years, went to Turkey, came back with a full head of hair, and he claimed he just let it grow out when he was there.
Yeah, I just went on a holiday, relaxed for a little bit, and all of a sudden my hair started growing back. It's crazy.
Just let it grow out.
Well,
finally.
that regular texter Bryce, he often gives me a hard time saying that I should grow my hair back out. And I honestly have no idea what it would even look like at this stage of my life because I've been shaving it for 10 years. And that when I started, it was out of convenience. I just liked it. But now at this point, yeah, it would not look very good. I'm certain of it. A little thin on the top, without a doubt.
Give it a go.
No, thanks.
Triple C in Truck says Wayne Rooney is top of the turnaround from bald to having hair. I just brought it up. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely turned it around. His hair looks good now, though. Like, where did he go for the plugs? That's what I want to know. That's where I would go.
Well, if you're rich enough, getting it done here, I think, is better, but it costs a lot more than to go to, say, Turkey.
Yeah.
And it takes obviously the inconvenience of having to fly immediately after getting surgery out of the mix.
I think they pamper you for a bit, though. I don't know, actually. I've never looked into it. I just assume. If you're there, you might as well take a week of vacation.
That's a good point.
Let it grow out. Like that.
But I think the recovery is pretty substantial. Like, you have to follow some quite strict guidelines about looking after it and wearing hats and whatever. I don't know.
Rod says, my twin brother's daughter and son went to Turkey to get a hair transplant. They said it was great. The food and hotel was included. It was fantastic. And it's working great for them. Yeah, that's what I've heard, Rod. Like, they pamper you. They take care of you. MTR says, can Declan grow a beard? I think being bald, no facial hair is wild. Big grown baby. Declan can grow a mustache pretty good, I think. But he doesn't have a big beard either. I think he always keeps it pretty clean. Nail says, it's not gray. I call it chrome with cul-de-sac. That's a look. The cul-de-sac hairstyle. We got a text. Johnny's asking low tide. Yeah. That's not a question for us, Johnny.
What, you don't even want to take a stab at it, Connor?
Can a team with so much cap inefficiencies, Nurse, Frederick, Manjapani, win a cup?
Well, it's a team in essentially the exact same spot as what is back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. So I would say, yeah, they can.
Should we be discussing the pro scouting level for the Oilers? Like, going back to even last year, obviously, Skinner wasn't great. Arvidsson wasn't great. Manjapani this year, Frederick last year. Like, there's been some misses for this team when it comes to free agency and trades. Like, and you wouldn't have thought it would have worked out that way, but it hasn't been great.
But there have been hits.
Yeah, well, who? In the last 2 years.
In the last 2 years, well, Jake Wallman.
Yeah, okay.
Good acquisition. Adam Henrique, I understand there's a lot of he's hurt right now, but before that, a lot of people weren't happy with his game, but he was a big part of the last 2 cup runs coming over from Anaheim. You can't win everyone. Now, in the Oilers' case, in the free agency market more so, in the last couple of years, certainly some more misses than hits. And the biggest hit was one that came in October in Jack Roslovic.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Savoy, good pickup, yeah. Kasha McLeod, like, You gave up to get him. Kapanen and Perry. Well, Kapanen, yes. Perry was a few years ago, but yeah, good.
And like Podkolzin.
Yeah,
you give up very little to get him. Kapanen was a waiver claim, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
The Connor Ingram acquisition with Utah holding back some money. It's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, I mean, there were some moves they just couldn't say no to. Like, it's just worked out too good. Just quickly, Brett says that in Turkey, they do take care of you and keep you for a couple of days. Whereas here, they send you home.
You got to look after yourself.
Yeah.
Which, guess what? Most people do a bad job of.
Yeah. You get a little,
especially if you're at the point in your life where you're getting hair transplants, you probably have like a life, right? Whether it be work, kids, wife, whatever. You got a lot going on. You don't exactly put yourself first, maybe. And as a result, maybe the effects aren't as good as they could be if you just really cashed it up.
Titan likes his gray hair because it can turn any color as long as it doesn't turn loose. And Sue says, I got the short end of the stick. I'm bald, but I'm hairy everywhere else. I need to wax my back. It's not so bad. JRD says, what about Emerson? Yeah, good one. Twin dad Matt Stastny's been good, and I did love Kulak. Yeah, he has been good. Yeah, you know what, Duke, you're right. There's been some good, there's been some bad. That's just life. And with that, we're done. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again. Thank you guys for tuning into the show today. We appreciate it. Tomorrow, we'll give away a $50 gift card to First Round as well. So make sure you keep it locked here on Sports 1440 from 11 to noon and beyond. For the Duke, for intern Mackenzie and Josh Fenwick, I'm Connor Halley. Right now, we're going to get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Check it out online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com, only available in Leduc.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day for the Edmonton Oilers as they are back at home taking on the New York Islanders tonight from Rogers Place. Curtis Lazar drawn back into the lineup, and Connor Ingram expected to start in goal. Puck drop just after 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage starting right here on Sports 1440 at 6. Around the rest of the NHL, 9 of the games, including the Sabres, hosting the Canadiens. Sharks are in Washington. Jets play the Wild. Canucks take on Columbus. Flames down in Chicago. Stars play the Mammoth and the Nightcap. Mitch Marner going up against his former team as Vegas hosts Toronto. Some breaking news from earlier this morning. Federal prosecutors charging 20 people today in what they're calling a betting scheme to rig NCAA and Chinese Basketball Association games. Among those charged include 15 former college players that played in Div 1 NCAA programs as recently as the 24-25 season. 9 games in the association tonight, including Boston taking on Miami, Detroit hosting Phoenix. The Thunder go up against Houston. San Antonio plays the Bucks. Knicks in NorCal against the Warriors. And the Lakers welcome in Charlotte to Crypto.com Arena. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.